Hello, everybody. I know I'm not the usual face behind these videos, but my name is David Brystowski. I'm the GTM lead here at AuraPlayer. Pretty new to the organization, pretty new to the space, but going to be handling this week's Take Two. And I'm joined here with Mike Ferrante. But Mike, I'm going to pass it to you and let you do just a little brief intro of yourself for us and everyone who's watching.
So for anyone not familiar with me, which is going to be hard to do, I spent 26 years with Oracle on the application development tools team, and recently was picked up by the Talan team, where we work on forms, modernizations, and migrations to Apex. So great combination of technologies blended together. I'm pretty excited about it. I am new to the Talan team, so that's going to be an interesting change for me as well. But it's really good. I'm glad you're on board over there, Dave. It's I'm sure going to be a great addition, and it's a great team of people over there. I've worked with them for many years.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I am interested in diving in a little bit more into, nearly 30 years of experience and expertise in Oracle forms and now forms modernization and being within the Apex practice at Talan. But I actually want to ask you something first. I was looking at a little bit about your background, Mike, and I noticed that you spent about 6 years working at NASA before joining on within Oracle. And I just want to hear a little bit about that and how you even transitioned into a long and fruitful career within the Oracle space, and kind of how you bridge the gap between those two experiences.
Right. You're wondering why I left traveling to Mars to do this kind of work. I was in the Air Force for a little over 6 years or so. And honestly, a lifelong dream was to work on the Space Center, on the Kennedy Space Center in Florida from young. And I was offered a job on the Space Center while I was still in the Air Force. And I took that job. I left the Air Force and took that job on the Kennedy Space Center. And I loved it. It was just one of the more exciting things I've ever done. And like everything, it gets kind of old after a while. And somebody at Oracle offered me an option to escape the Space Center and the government work. So I took it. And I took it. I had experience with software, although my background is electronics and aeronautics. I took the leap of faith, and it turned out to be really good. It's cool seeing rocket launches.
Yeah, no, I can't say where I grew up in Michigan they had that many rocket launches near us, but but it's on the bucket list for sure.
I understand.
Before we eventually dive into more forms and Apex specific questions, once you made that transition from the Kennedy Space Center to Oracle, how did you, what were some of the pivotal moments or mentorships or things that you built yourself in terms of leveling up that you felt like gave you an edge in continuing to move up within Oracle and become what I know from Mia and the rest of the folks here that you are kind of the expert in face of?
I think part of what drives me or drove me is I become passionate about whatever it is I'm working on at the time. And when I started at Oracle, obviously I knew very little about it. And I was fortunate in that I had a really good team of people around me. I started in the support team, and a lot of the people in support as well as development, and I don't know why, but for whatever reason, they were kind enough to rally around me and support, the direction I was going. And it just motivated me. And it was really nice to see a team of people working together. And you're going to find that at AuraPlayer, the people that you're going to work with there are kind of the same way. And once the hook was set, that crazy passion that I get just took off. And I loved it. It became a family to me. And I don't even mean just the people, but even the product. I enjoyed what I did, and I enjoyed the people I worked with. And I think that's an important life goal, is to find passion in whatever you're doing. Otherwise, it's not, why do it?
I think that is an excellent answer. And so I think it's just interesting hearing about people who have built fruitful careers in specific areas. So my understanding, Mike, is that for a long time, you have been kind of Oracle Forms biggest cheerleader, biggest advocate, and maybe some would even say the face of Oracle Forms. And so I'd love to just hear a little bit about where your head is at right now as it relates to customers that are leveraging Oracle Forms, how it relates with Oracle Apex and being a part of Talan in their Apex practice. And so I know it's been, I think about 4 months at Talan. So I guess like first impression, new chapter for you. What are some of the highlights, some of the things that come to your mind?
Well, I have to say the Talan team has been incredible. They've been just such a great, welcoming group of people, and like I said before, that's what it takes to drive me forward. If you welcome me in and you support me, I'll support you, and all of that. And they've done an excellent job of doing that, and I greatly appreciate it. As far as the product goes, yeah, I have been an advocate, like I said earlier, for many, many years, because I found the value in it, I think. And I saw the value in it, and I saw how it helped companies find success in that area where it was applicable. And in some ways, I actually was opposed to this idea of ever using Apex to transition from Forms. But part of the reason was not because I had anything against Apex or even disagreed with the idea that it was a good stepping stone, but more because at the time, the Forms product was still evolving and still had a future, and we were still doing smart things with it. So like I said, I took on a passion for Forms, and we went forward, and then Oracle decided to change direction, and the idea of moving to Apex was always a good idea because it builds on the same, now I shouldn't say the same, but similar technology that Forms did. So if you're a Forms developer, moving to Apex was kind of a no-brainer because it's the same language. It's just a different outcome, right? Forms, you're building desktop applications. Apex, you're building web applications. But behind the scenes, you're kind of building them the same way. So kind of no-brainer. The cool thing is, and most people don't realize it, but a handful of the developers that came from Forms started the Apex team. So that's why you see a lot of similarities in it. That's not the only reason, but it is, it contributes to it as well. They understood how Forms works. They understood what the positive side of Forms was, and they carried some of that concept into Apex. So I think it's going to work out well. Of course, I had an advantage in that I knew both products. Right, I understood both technologies before I came in, so that gave me a plus when I came over here.
Just piggybacking, you mentioned Oracle decided to go in a different route, right? Maybe have a little bit less resources allocated towards Forms and supporting Forms customers. So what would you tell, or what advice would you give to leaders that have large investments today in Oracle Forms in terms of how to set them up for, it's hard to say long-term success, but, success in the next few years and leveraging their tools today?
So what's really been cool about taking this job on is I haven't had to change the messaging that I've delivered for 26 years. It's always been the same. In fact, for all of my years, and we won't go into age, but for all of my years, I've kind of said the same thing. Don't wait until whatever it is you're working on is in a crisis state. Take advantage of the advance warning that you have that maybe we need to rethink this. Too many times over my 26 plus years working at Oracle, I've experienced customers that wait until the roof has collapsed in because it had a leak and there's a rainstorm outside. It's like you knew that it was leaking. You saw the stain in the ceiling. Why didn't you fix it while you knew it was damaged? Same is true here. Oracle's giving you a chance now to do something, right? They said, look, we're not going to evolve this product any further. We will continue to support it for some amount of time, but this is your cue to make a decision and move on it immediately. You don't have to do it in panic mode, but start. you have to start, right? Let the starting gun fire and start making a transition to whatever it is you choose. It doesn't have to be Apex, but don't wait, because if you wait, then it's a panic. So yeah, making a decision early is important. Whether you're an executive trying to help make decisions at the high level, or a developer at a low level making decisions, sit down and talk about it now. Plan a meeting this week and start figuring out, what do we want to do? Do we want to gamble and keep going forward with what Oracle clearly has changed direction on, and hope that they continue to support it for as long as you might need it? Or do we want to start the evolution now? And I've watched Oracle many times change technologies internally with their internal tools, and it takes a long time to transition. You don't convert from one thing to another in a week. It doesn't work that way. Many of the internal tools that we had inside of Oracle took years to perfect and actually deliver to the users, a year or more, let's say. So consider that in your own space, whatever your business is, whether it's, order entry, or, CRM applications or ERP applications, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. You're not going to do it in a week. I don't care who claims they have a conversion tool or what magic wand you wave. You're not going to get it to the users, in an overnight kind of fashion. So start thinking now and act on it.
I wanted to just kind of double click into what you said. So you basically said that your messaging hasn't changed. But I'm honestly curious. I'm sure you have a ton of very close and long-lasting relationships with customers. Has their sentiment changed? I know you said that for your messaging still the same, and your ultimate message is like, be swift, make a decision now. But has the sentiment of these customers that you've worked with for so long, and now you're kind of shifting gears, starting something new, what has the messaging from your customers been like?
For many of them, I think it's similar. I think they recognize the fact that I'm gone, and I don't mean me personally, but my role is gone. I think they're realizing now that what they thought was a rumor 5 or 10 or 20 years ago is now reality. And 20 years ago, I said, kind of the same thing. If you find that you're not getting out of what you're working with, it's time to start thinking about it, act on it. And, obviously I haven't been in contact with all the customers I've worked with, but many of them that I have clearly have changed their direction. And in cases like Oracle partners, AuraPlayer included, everybody's kind of rethinking what they were doing, and not completely reinventing the wheel, but kind of just changing course slightly with the same destination in mind. And I think that's good. That's good to see that finally, that everyone's kind of reevaluating and adjusting.
Final question on my agenda for you, Michael, was just about big milestones for this year, and I'm sure how it relates to AI and kind of the changing ecosystem around all tech and software companies. So would love to hear like what you're thinking about and excited about, and any big milestones that you've got on tap.
So for us, for the Talan team, we have a lot of changes on the burner cooking. Of course, many of them include AI, both internally and externally. We're looking at integrating a lot of AI into our tooling to make our tooling better. And by the same token, we're looking at assisting customers with getting AI into their own applications. For me in particular, there's a lot of focus on the service offerings that Talan provides. We're going to, I'm going to say, improve on what already was a proven service, but there were areas where I felt we could accommodate our customers in a different or maybe better way than we were doing it before. So a lot of good stuff coming with the service offering that we have. We have partnerships now building with AuraPlayer. So we're going to start working with AuraPlayer on some really cool stuff. And I think together that should build a really good future going forward. So there is no one particular milestone in mind, but we have just loads of cool stuff. And I don't even think that anybody in the Talan team realized that I was going to come to the table with a full platter of, okay, we need to do this and we need to do that. And we need to do this other. I think, I saw eyebrows raise, and I think there's excitement in the air. So I'm glad to see that reaction. That was a cool reaction that I saw internally.
I mean, I love that. And I think what every organization needs right now is someone that has the ability to think bigger, bring fresh perspective. So I think it's cool that you're bringing that to the table. And yeah, I mean, I really, really appreciate your time.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Oh yeah, of course. Anytime. We've been, as a team, we've been looking forward to this conversation. I've been looking forward to it, as for me, it's cool to just like meet with people who've been in the space forever. It's a cool experience to have these conversations.
For anybody that has questions, I mean, everybody that knows me knows I don't mind sharing whatever my thoughts are. You may like them, you may not, but it's been a long time, and I think sharing the information is helpful for everybody.
Couldn't agree more. You heard it here first. Reach out to Mike if you want to get into a debate with him. He's open to inquiries. But I really appreciate it, Mike. Yeah, hopefully catch you again soon.
Thank you so much.